What's up, everyone? It's Phoenix here, bringing you guys some very, very exciting news. So, as we know, we've known that Batwoman was going to be joining the crossover event in Arrowverse. But we didn't know for sure. There's rumors, but we didn't know for sure if Batwoman would get her own CW TV show. But now it has been confirmed that she is. And because of the reveal that she is getting her own show, I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit. Because this is huge. We haven't, we have had new shows, but this is going to be introducing a whole new city, the infamous Gotham City. So this is what the article says that I have from HollywoodReporter.com. Greg Berlanti and Caroline Dries, I don't know, are developing the drama ahead of the lesbian character's debut in the network's DC crossover event in December. The CW is looking to expand its DC Comics world. The network is teaming with DC's small screen universe mastermind Greg Berlanti to develop Batwoman as a TV series. The character of Batwoman will officially be introduced in December as part of the CW's annual DC series crossover event. Batwoman revolves around Kate Kane, who, armed with a passion for social justice and flair for speaking her mind, soars onto the streets of Gotham as Batwoman, an out lesbian and highly trained street fighter, primed to snuff out the failing city's criminal resurgence. But don't call her a hero yet. In a city desperate for a savior, Kate must overcome her own demons before embracing the call to be Gotham's symbol of hope. Caroline Dries is attached to pen the script and produce the series, which is based on DC Comics characters. Berlanti and his Warner Bros. TV-based Berlanti Productions topper Sarah Schechter and Jeff Johns will exec produce the drama. A casting notice for the role of Kate will be going out shortly. The DC crossover will mark the first time the character of Batwoman will appear in live-action form on any screen when she is seen fighting alongside the CW's heroes. Should Batwoman move to series, it would join a slate of DC series at the CW that includes Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl, The Legends of Tomorrow, and Black Lightning, as Berlanti also builds a roster of DC fare on the comic book powerhouse's forthcoming DC Universe subscription digital platform. Launching in August, that platform will feature scripted originals including Titans, Doom Patrol, and more. The script deal brings Dries back to the CW and Warner Bros. TV, for whom she served as a showrunner on the Vampire Diaries. Dries exited briefly for an overall deal with Sony TV. Her credits include Delrose Place and Smallville. I did not know that. Berlanti, meanwhile, is fresh off renewing his overall deal with Warner Bros. TV in a $400 million 4-year extension. The deal includes cash incentives that kick in when he hits a specific number of series. Heading into the fall, Berlanti has a record 14 scripted TV series on the air across 6 networks and produces 2 animated series airing on the 7th. They are the CW's All-American, Arrow, Black Lightning, Legend of Tomorrow, The Flash, Riverdale, Supergirl. Oh my gosh, sorry. Supergirl, NBC's Blind Spot, CBS's God Friended Me, and The Red Line, the Chilling Adventures, the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina at Netflix, and DC Universe. Sorry. DC Universe's digital series services, Doom Patrol, and Titan's Lifetime's You. Okay, sorry. And the CWC, the animated series Freedom Fighters, The Way in Constantine, City of Demons. He's wrapped by WME, and Felker talks it. So that was a mouthful. My goodness, I'm sorry for moving out the camera. I didn't mean to. I did not mean to at all. So Batwoman is a very interesting character for the CW to tackle. Obviously she is a lesbian character. She's going to be the first real LGBTQ female main protagonist. She's going to be pretty much the first one that's like head on. I mean, there is technically Sarah Lance, but she doesn't really count considering that that she's kind of with the team, so she has a team of people. So I don't really count her necessarily as an LGBTQ lead, even though she pretty much is the head, but she didn't necessarily start out that way. And this is an even bigger step in the right direction, in the direction of this whole representation thing. Now, I hope that doesn't get to be the main point of the show. I really want the main point of the show to still be about the character, not the message. It's becoming harder and harder for me to watch Supergirl as there's politics and all these... there's a lot of politics involved with Supergirl that makes it kind of hard for me to watch, because I really don't want to watch, a campaign ad for entertainment. Right? If I wanted that, I would watch the news or something. So I'm really hoping that Batwoman doesn't become this dark and brooding version of Supergirl where it's constantly shoved down your throat. Because they're either, one, preaching to the choir, or preaching to an audience that has pretty much left this, stopped watching the show because of it. So I'm hoping that Batwoman can just be this show with a strong female lead who, is kind of that show that, yes, it can touch on things from time to time. I expect it to, because it's the CW. That's what they do. But not to the point where it's becoming like an eye roll and it's like, come on now, let's move on now. She is her own character, so I don't want her to be the female version of Batman, because let's be honest, that's not going to work. It can work with Superman in the way they did with Supergirl, but it will not work with Batwoman. Because we can't have a female version of the Joker. We either have the Joker or we don't, right? We can't have the female version of the Riddler. We either have the Riddler or we don't. Like, Batman's rogue villains cannot be touched, right? Because I'm assuming they are going to use some of Batman's rogue villains that can appear on the small screen. Probably not the Joker, but probably more like, we might see the Riddler, we could see Poison... Actually, I don't know if we can see Poison Ivy because she's appearing in the Gotham City Sirens. In fact, we won't be able to see Harley Quinn, but we could see something like Dr. Pig, maybe? We could probably bring some of Gotham's villains, from Gotham, and bring it to the CW verse, where we have the Penguin, and we have the Riddler, and we have... I don't think we should bring Jerome over, because that's really Batman's thing. He's technically the Joker. And having him brought over to the CW is a bit... well, we can't really have the Joker, so what's the point of bringing him over? There's an endless supply of rogue villains that we can use that would be very interesting to see in the CW verse. For example, there's Clayface. Clayface is a big one that could happen, that I could see happen. Mr. Freeze. But this having Gotham be confirmed in the CW verse is a huge deal. A huge deal, because Batman's villains are some of the most famous or infamous villains of all time. His rogue gallery is so famous, but she also has her own villains and her own storyline. So I'm hoping that they don't just make her the female version of Batman, because she does have her own storyline that's different from Batman's. Now, are we going to get a Batman cameo for the first episode to kind of introduce her? Probably not, actually. Even though that she is a member of the Bat family, and she starts out that way, I don't think we're actually going to be able to see Batman at all. Not even a hint of it. Because she's also not related to Batman, she kind of does associate her name with Batman, but she's her own thing. She isn't as connected to Batman as Supergirl is with Superman. So it wouldn't necessarily be a requirement to have him cameo. And I would assume that he probably isn't allowed to be cameoed anyways, because he's such a big character. They want to make that... They want to keep that for the big screen, even if they're recasting him. It'll be interesting to see what she does with the CW, with the crossover, I mean. But what I expect to happen is we have the crossover in December, right? And then maybe in January, giving kind of a break, in January, we get the first premiere, the first pilot episode. Now, I'm hoping that her costume kind of looks a lot like this, and they don't take this sweet old time getting her costume. In fact, I'm assuming that when she does appear in the CW-verse, in the Arrowverse, in the crossover, that she is going to have this sort of costume, that she's going to look like her iconic self. Now, the question really remains is, who plays Batwoman? Who is good enough to play her? And that's really the question, because, to be honest, I really don't know. She definitely has to have that red hair. And she kind of has to be on the young side. I would honestly dye her hair red, because even if they get a true redhead, it's not going to be like the red that we want. Honestly, if anyone dyed their hair, if any actress dyed their hair red and made it that like iconic red, I think it could really work. I don't really know who I would cast as Batwoman, because I don't really trust anyone to do that job. But I think it's really interesting to see what they're actually going to do. It's a bit scary, considering that this is one of the biggest fandoms of all time, in the comic book wise at least. Now, she isn't as big as he is, obviously. But the whole Bat family is pretty big, and it's a huge deal to be introducing the Bat family and the Bat Rogues to the CW. Now, again, she does have her own individual villains. In fact, let me see a list of them to kind of give you guys an idea. She has Anarchy. This is Bane. Oh yeah, I forgot Batman is technically a villain for her. Batman is technically a villain at some point. There's Calendar Man, Catwoman. I wouldn't be really surprised to see. Technically, she isn't in the DCEU, so it could possibly happen where Catwoman has a cameo, but I highly doubt it. I don't think they would do that. Especially, maybe for one appearance or maybe a cameo, but we had a long fight to get anyone from the Bat family to appear. I would be surprised to see anyone. I would be really surprised if we saw Catwoman, Batgirl, Nightwing, Robin, or anyone. Maybe Damian Wayne can make an appearance because he hasn't been involved in the DCEU. Maybe Red Hood can make an appearance, but I highly doubt it. I would be really surprised to see them. She has her fair share of villains. Technically, Harley Quinn is one of her villains, but I would be really surprised to see her. I would guess that they're probably going to do Easter eggs and kind of like hint towards the whole thing. I think they would hint towards, they would kind of give a hint towards, a hint towards some of the villains, because, it is Gotham City. You're going to have villains everywhere. It'd be weird not to see Joker in the news, in the background, doing something, or not to see Harley Quinn, robbing a bank or whatever. It'd be really weird not to see that on the Gotham City news. So I think there is potential to have Easter eggs, but I would be really surprised to see them on this actual screen. I think it's really going to be hints, some sort of teases towards the big villains, but really stick with the smaller ones. There is a female Scarecrow though, so that would be interesting. That would be interesting to see. Madam Crow. Or even the real Scarecrow. That would be very interesting to see if they do that. I'm really excited to see what happens. I need to see a trailer first, because I am a little bit concerned about what they're going to do with her. But pretty much, I'm definitely going to see the first episode at least, and then make my judgment from there. Like I said, I'm really hoping they're not going to go the political route, but really keep it about her as a character. Because Supergirl is great when it doesn't have the politics. Because it's a comic book, right? It's supposed to be this entertainment. I don't really like seeing politics when I watch entertainment. The whole point of watching a TV show is to escape the whole politics and the drama in real life. So hearing that stuff, I don't like. It's okay to kind of drop it and move on, but when they hammer it into your skull, that's when it becomes hard to watch. So again, I'm hoping that they lay back on the politics part, because they could easily, turn this into a political show with Batwoman. She is a bit of an activist herself in the comics, so I would think there's gonna be something probably, but not too much. I think too much would be very risky, and then you're gonna drive people away, even from a Bat family show. You really don't want to drive people away from a Bat family show. That should be your number one successful show. Now, it's going to be interesting because there are theories that this is going to be Arrow's last season. And this is why Batwoman is coming in, because apparently there's rumors that potentially Batwoman could replace Arrow. Now, Arrow is on to its 7th season? Is it 7? Because they just finished season 6, right? So this is season 7. Yeah, season 7 is going to be the upcoming season. And I think it would make sense to end on 7. Because that's the whole magical number. Smallville ended on 9 or 10. And I don't think they're going to have Arrow go on to 10. I think depending on how this goes, I think season 7 should be Arrow's last season to really, because you want a grand finale. You want the last episode you end on, to be really great. And I think they could build up this whole season 7 for Arrow and really pull it off and say, that's it. We're ending on this. Because Smallville suffered because it had a very disappointing finale. So, it really depends, right? You don't want Arrow to be your longest lasting Arrow show to date to be bad at the finale. You want this epic season 7, and I think that could work. And then we spin it off to Batwoman, and we spin it off to everyone else. Now, of course, perhaps Arrow should retire at the end of his season finale. And, maybe Batwoman could perhaps be in charge of Bones Start. Actually, I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know. Let's not get into that discussion. You can go on and on about that discussion. I think it will be interesting to see how this plays out. Especially the crossover. Because last crossover was really great. I really loved last crossover. And the fact that Batwoman is going to be debuting in this crossover, I'm just really hoping it's going to be good. But anyways, so that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about Batwoman. What do you guys want to see in Batwoman? Especially since it's a brand new show. What do you guys want to see from it? What are characters you would like to see cameoed or Easter egged? Or referenced, sorry. Not Easter egged, that's not a word. But referenced. Maybe a reference to Joker, maybe a reference to Harley Quinn. I highly doubt that they would actually appear, but we could probably see some references, especially since it is Gotham City. Who do you think should play Batwoman? Is there anyone in particular that you have in mind? And other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion. Let the plane time right, but you guys are amazing. Peace out and have a good day. I'll catch you guys next time on the Flame TV. Peace out and see you often, guys. It's been a blast. Thank you guys so much. Bye. Hope to see you guys in the future. Peace out and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.